Hey, what's up YouTubers and everybody across the world? I have the best putting tips for you. They've totally changed my game. I'm just a guy off the street that was shooting, 100 to 95, somewhere in there. I got to about an 84 just because of the way I putt. And it's something that every time I go to play with anybody, if I'm randomly paired with them, they say, wow, you really have a good stroke. How do you do that? And I figured, I might as well make a tutorial for this. I'm not a PGA, coach. I'm not a pro. I'm just somebody who learned a lot from everybody that I've ever golfed with. I listen, I watch videos, and I've figured out something that works for me. And there are just 2 or 3 things that you guys can do that'll totally change your game. All right, so let's talk a little bit about speed and distance. And this is where you need to be consistent, right? Because if you're not, you'll never be able to replicate the same stroke and the same result. And the way that happens is you cannot have any break from here to here. There can't be any extension in your arms. If you have that when you're going back and you're feeling yourself push out or contract, it's over. Just stop the video and practice keeping this as one mechanism right here. This is one triangle that swings together. It's a pendulum, right? And the thing about this, everybody always tells me I have a very good pace to my stroke, is because that pendulum speed never changes. I just practice muscle memory of it always keeping the same speed. Always. And I'm not breaking any part of my joints, right? You can't do that. It has to be one mechanism. Same speed every time. The only difference is if I want to hit it further, I'm simply going to take it back further. Same speed, I'm literally going to take it back a little bit further. So what you need to do when you get to the practice green before you play around, which you have to do, don't just get out of the car and think you're going to go and drop a 74 right out of the parking lot. Come on, man, you got to get to the practice green and roll a few and see how far they go on that particular green when you take it back a consistent distance. So I'm going to take about 1.5 feet. That's about right here. I'm mentally visualizing that, and I'm going to see how far that goes. Okay? I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to try to get the exact same result and take it exactly that distance back. That's within 2 inches of itself. All right, so that's how you start getting, you have to have a baseline. That's something to judge from. So now I know that's about, okay, 15 feet. Well, great. So now I know if I have a 15-footer, I'm taking it back 1.5 feet. It's easy. All right, but if you're just getting up there and you're like, look, about 15 feet, all right, sounds good, whoo! I mean, it's not putting. There's actual math that's involved here. And the more constant you can be with taking it back and bringing it forward the same pendulum speed. You see that? It's got to stay the same. You can't, if you want to hit it further, just do that. Don't do that. It's terrible. What is that? No. Or if you want to hit it soft, you do this. No, don't do that. Just take it back a little bit. Same pendulum speed, just only take it back a little bit. So if I'm hitting all right, if 1.5 feet gives me 15 feet, I know you guys play Tiger Woods. Come on, man, it's the same thing. Fine, if I have an 8-footer, then I'm going to cut that in half. Halfway. I have a 4-footer, cut that in half. Hit it about 8, and I'm going to take about 8 inches back. See what I'm saying? You can easily get your increments strictly by keeping it constant with your backswing and your follow through, and only taking it back further or shorter depending on what your distance is. You've got this. It just takes practicing. And get in your living room on your rug, get one of those things that spits the ball back at you, right? You putt at it and it spits it back at you. It's the best thing that you can invest in. It's like $8 on Amazon Prime. Just sit there watching your Sports Center and practice consistent pendulum speed. Consistent pendulum speed. Start to feel what your baseline will be. I like about 1.5 feet. That's what I start from every time. How far does that get me? And then I judge from there as I go throughout my round. All right, now this is my favorite part of the tutorial, actually, and it is the roll, okay? And the roll is something that you have got to get down and nobody thinks about. What I mean is it's got to come off of the putter face the same way every time. And the way you're going to consistently do that is by making one of these. Just get a Sharpie, right? Take the Sharpie Draw a line on your ball all the way around so that you have a straight line. And then what you're going to do is you're going to practice getting that black line to roll and stay in a line as it goes on its path. I bet you can, I mean, look, you could have the perfect distance and speed. Your pendulum speed is awesome. It's consistent. That's great. But then as soon as you go to putt it, if you're doing some sort of a left to right or right to left, it's going to spin the ball and you don't even see the line. And you're like, man, I had the right line in my eye. I did everything right. He told me to have constant speed. I took it back constant. What happened? Well, yeah, you spun the ball with side spin with your putter, and it probably curled a little bit to the left. If you notice your putts are curling a little to the left, you're coming in to out, just like a draw. If they're a little bit to the left to the right, it's the opposite. It's like a cut. So you're coming in from out to in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple drills here that you guys can do that will absolutely change your putting and make sure by muscle memory that you won't even have to think about this, but each time you're going to get a nice, smooth, straight roll from the ball. And that's when people say, wow, he's got a really smooth stroke. That ball seems to go wherever he wants it to. Yeah, exactly. It's because you took the time to practice, and that's why you're going to get good at this real quick. All right, you guys, so you've gone ahead and drawn a line on your ball with your Sharpie. You got it nice and straight. First off, I want you to see how your ball is rolling. It's going to tell you, if you can't see the line consistently right over the middle of the ball, it means that you're rolling it with some wrong spin. And you'll be able to tell what kind of spin that is. So give it a roll. Boom, right into the hole, and I can see the whole way that line spinning right down the middle of the ball, just as it started out. Okay, so here's what I want to do to show you a really easy drill so that you can do this every time. Now I want you to picture wickets. When I say wickets, I'm talking about croquet. All right, as I set this up here, I'm going to put my putter down. Make sure you guys can see it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off and give myself about an inch. And I'm going to put a tee there, and an inch from behind, I'm going to put a tee there. Now think about a wicket. This is your gate. And you need to consistently be behind, you need to be between this gate, or a wicket, however you want to see it. There we go. Now I got a good feel. Now I got a good feel. I'm going to take a ball, put it in the middle, and I'm going to make sure I'm right in the middle of this gate. And what that's going to do is force, I'm not looking at the hole at all. I don't care right now. I'm not worried about that. I'm trying to get my muscle memory to remember keeping it at the same point through the gate. It's got to get through. And really what you want to do is you want to get good at this. Get right up on it. Maybe give it a little bit of an angle so you don't hurt your club. But I mean right up on it. Look at that, okay? It needs to be consistent. Beautiful. Okay, that feel of the club face returning to that point and getting consistently through the gate. I'm telling you, what I do every time I get over a putt is I envision a gate. And I envision it literally, once I'm looking over it, I am literally looking at something like this, as close as possible to it. And I'm trying to get right back to here once I'm in the point of contact so that I get through that gate smoothly. Oh, that feels so good. And if you do that, what's going to happen is you're absolutely going to get a smooth, straight roll. Another thing that you can do to make sure you're filling up the cup is instead of trying to hit balls into a hole, hit them at a tee. Put a tee into the ground and practice hitting them at the tee. Try to knock the tee on the ground. See your line. Boom. Look at that. If you can do that, then as soon as you remove the tee, look how big the hole is, right? You want that hole to look like a big bucket, not like a tiny little thimble, right? So practice with something smaller. It's the same reason that a baseball player is going to put a sleeve or a donut on his bat and make it heavier so that when he gets to the plate, it's a lot easier and quicker to swing, lighter, Right, well, same thing. Aim for something way smaller. I used to put like a little crumb or just something like a little tiny little, rip a little corner off a piece of paper and just put it on my carpet and put it that. Because then whenever I'd get at a hole, I'd be like, oh, I could fill that thing up all day. And so can you. That quick drill. Give it a try. All right, you guys, the last thing that you're going to want to do is trust yourself. You need to trust what you're seeing on the green. And this is why you also need to get on the practice green before you get out there. But once you set up your line, just like in Tiger Woods, you set up your line, then trust it. Okay, because you've done the work. You've sat there and you've tried so hard to maintain a constant pendulum swing. Oh, it feels good. Just feel it going. I'm not moving here. I've got a good roll on the ball. But if you get over it and you're looking at it and you have any doubt in your mind, it's not going to work. It's over. Just step back. I challenge you, have the balls to step back and maybe look stupid for a second. Because I'm telling you, you're going to look way more stupid when you miss the putt that's only 7 feet away and you could have had a birdie. Do not get over the ball, feel awkward or question yourself, and still hit it. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Ask yourself right now, why would you do that? I know it's different when you get out there, but why would you do that? Don't do that. So whatever your routine is, when you get back and you look at it, you're here, you get your line, you see your spot, you fill out your distance. From here to the point where you stroke the ball, we need to be confident. We're walking to it, we need to be confident. We need to be eyeing it like a hawk. That's my spot. That is my spot. I'm all over this, and you take your stroke and you hit it. That's all you need to do. I mean, I'm not even looking at where it goes. We've got aerated greens right now. But what I want you to know is that it needs to be a confident stroke, okay? It has to be. If you're questioning yourself at all, step back. Guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps any of you out there. Like I said, even if you're just a Joe Schmo off the street and you're trying to get a little bit more respectable around the greens, or on a golf course when your friends go and you don't want to look stupid, hey, this hopefully helps you. If you're somebody who's great at golf and you're shooting 85 and you're trying to get down to that 79, putting's what's going to get you there. Hopefully this helps you. If it didn't, don't feel like there's something wrong with you, because everything is different for everyone. So if this works, then great, but if it doesn't, then ask yourself why. What are you doing that does work? Are you doing anything at all? If you're not having any kind of approach and you're just getting up over the ball, just, all right, feels good, looks good. If you actually get over here and you're looking at it like you see the pros do, but you don't know what you're doing, well, folks, that's not going to help you. And this is just having an approach will. So whether you follow mine or you make up your own, I encourage you to have an idea of what you're doing when you get onto the green. Follow these tips and you're going to start shaving strokes right off your game immediately. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you watching. Subscribe and follow if you want, but I really hope it helps, and I'll see you guys on the course.